Most people assume aging is a slow, inevitable process dictated mainly by genetics. But in reality, the daily choices you make, especially the small, seemingly harmless habits you repeat every morning, can accelerate physical decline, dull your mind, weaken your muscles, and age your skin years faster than necessary, particularly once you cross 60. When your body's ability to recover from stressors diminishes significantly, and every repeated mistake compounds the damage, yet many seniors never connect the dots between their morning routine and why they feel older, stiffer, and more fatigued than they should. One of the biggest culprits is skipping hydration or relying on the wrong morning beverage, because after 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your body is already mildly dehydrated, which thickens your blood, strains your heart, slows oxygen delivery to your brain, and reduces joint lubrication, leaving you groggy and achy. And while many reach straight for coffee as their first drink, doing so on an empty stomach can spike cortisol, the stress hormone, which in turn accelerates collagen breakdown in your skin, increases belly fat storage, and worsens blood sugar instability, making you feel tired later. The better habit is to drink a full glass of mineral-rich water immediately upon waking to replenish fluids, kickstart circulation, and flush out metabolic waste that built up overnight. Something that can literally make your face look more youthful within weeks, yet almost nobody over 60 does it consistently. Another silent ager is eating a breakfast high in refined carbs and sugars such as white bread, pastries, or overly sweet cereals, which cause a rapid blood sugar surge followed by a crash that leaves you mentally foggy, craving more sugar, and fueling chronic inflammation that erodes muscle and damages blood vessels. Over years, this leads to a prematurely aged appearance, reduced mobility, and higher risk of heart disease. But because these foods give a quick dopamine hit, they become a daily habit that's hard to break unless you consciously replace them with protein-rich, fiber-filled options like eggs, Greek yogurt, oats with berries, or a vegetable omelet. Skipping any form of morning movement is another underestimated habit that accelerates aging, because overnight your muscles stiffen, your joints become less lubricated, and your lymphatic system slows down. So if you go straight from bed to chair to car without even a few minutes of stretching or walking, you're essentially training your body to stay stiff and weak, which not only ages your posture but also slows metabolism, reduces circulation to the skin, and makes it harder to maintain a healthy weight. Whereas just 5 to 10 minutes of gentle stretching, like yoga, or even walking around the house with intentional arm swings can reset your circulation, improve balance, and prime your body to burn more calories all day. The next habit that few realize is aging them is neglecting morning light exposure. Stepping outside within the first hour of waking allows natural light to regulate your circadian rhythm, balance melatonin and cortisol, improve mood, and enhance sleep quality that night, which is critical because poor sleep accelerates every visible and invisible sign of aging, from under-eye bags to memory loss. Yet so many seniors wake up, keep curtains drawn, and stay under dim artificial lighting, essentially telling their bodies to remain in a sluggish state. Finally, a subtle but powerful age-accelerating habit is starting your morning with mental stress, whether it's watching the news, scrolling through social media arguments, or diving straight into bills and problems before your mind has even stabilized. This sends your nervous system into a fight-or-flight state before breakfast, flooding your body with adrenaline and cortisol, which over time contributes to chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, skin dullness, and even memory decline, making you biologically older than your years. The truth is, mornings set the tone for your entire day and your aging trajectory. If your first 1 to 2 hours are filled with dehydration, poor food choices, inactivity, lack of natural light, and stress triggers, you are accelerating cellular damage every single day without realizing it. But by reversing these habits, starting with hydration, protein-based breakfasts, gentle movement, sunlight exposure, and a calm mental environment, you can quite literally slow the aging process, feel more energetic, think more clearly, and even look years younger, because your body responds almost immediately when you remove the daily triggers that wear it down. It's not about adding complicated or expensive anti-aging routines, it's about removing the harmful morning patterns that compound damage over time, and the earlier you start, even if you're already over 60, the more of your vitality, strength, and youthfulness you can preserve for the years ahead, turning mornings from a hidden aging trap into your most powerful tool for longevity. The second hidden morning habit that may be speeding up your aging is something so common that most people don't even question it: starting your day in a state of stress before you've even left the bed, which usually happens when the first thing you do upon waking is reach for your phone and dive into emails, news, or social media notifications. And here's why this is more harmful than you might think. When you open your eyes and immediately flood your brain with external information, especially negative or urgent content, you activate your body's stress response within seconds, triggering a release of cortisol, your primary stress hormone, at levels far above what's naturally needed for morning alertness. And while a normal, healthy cortisol rise in the morning helps wake you up and get you moving, an excessive surge from mental stress essentially overcharges your system, increasing inflammation, accelerating skin aging, and even interfering with blood sugar balance and blood pressure regulation, which over time can contribute to the visible signs of aging like fine lines, dull complexion, hair thinning, and the deeper, invisible signs such as reduced cardiovascular resilience, memory problems, and chronic fatigue. Researchers have shown that starting the day in a reactive, high cortisol state primes your brain to stay in a cycle of stress reactivity all day long, which means you're more likely to overeat, experience energy crashes, and have poor sleep quality that night, all of which are major aging accelerators for anyone over 60. And what makes this habit especially insidious is that you may not even feel stressed in the moment. You might think you're just checking in with the world, but your nervous system reads those messages, headlines, or notifications as threats, especially if they contain conflict, urgency, or bad news. And over months and years, this compounds into a constant low-grade stress load that erodes your vitality. For older adults, the effects can be even more pronounced because aging naturally makes your cells less efficient at repairing daily wear and tear, and excess morning stress steals the resources your body needs for that repair work, meaning more of the damage from yesterday carries into today, and then tomorrow, in a slow but steady decline in physical resilience, skin elasticity, and mental clarity. But the good news is that reversing this habit is straightforward once you realize what's happening. Try giving yourself even just 20 to 30 minutes of screen-free, stress-free wake-up time, focusing instead on hydration, stretching, breathing exercises, or even simply looking out the window and letting your senses ease into the day. This intentional pause allows your cortisol levels to rise naturally without overshooting, gives your cardiovascular system a gentle start, and keeps your brain in a more creative, open state instead of a reactive one, which research shows can improve mood, decision-making, and energy for the rest of the day, effectively slowing down the biological wear and tear process. Many people who make this change report not only looking younger over time but also feeling younger, with better focus, smoother digestion, and more restful sleep, all because they stopped bombarding their brain with a flood of stressful inputs before breakfast. And when you think about it, that's the perfect metaphor for aging well after 60. Small choices, repeated daily, have a much bigger impact than big, dramatic interventions done once in a while. And while you may not be able to control every source of stress in your life, you absolutely can control what you expose yourself to in those first precious minutes of the morning, making them a powerful tool for staying vibrant, sharp, and full of life as the years go on. And it's not about cutting technology completely, but about reclaiming your mornings so they work with your body's natural rhythms instead of against them, which is one of the most underrated anti-aging strategies you'll ever find because it costs nothing, takes almost no effort, and yet produces benefits that ripple through every system in your body, from your skin cells to your brain chemistry, which is why eliminating this single habit could be the turning point for your energy, mood, and appearance for the next decade and beyond. The fourth morning habit that's quietly accelerating the aging process in people over 60 is starting your day without intentional physical movement, which might seem harmless if you believe you'll get exercise later. But here's the physiological reality. Your body has just been lying still for 6 to 8 hours, your circulation has slowed, your lymphatic system has been inactive, and your joints have accumulated stiffness from the lack of motion. And when you wake up and go straight to sitting at the breakfast table or on the couch with your coffee, you miss a critical window in which your body is primed for circulation reset and cellular repair stimulation, because that first 20 to 30 minutes after waking is when gentle, intentional movement can literally tell your cells, it's time to repair and rejuvenate. Through the release of nitric oxide, improved blood flow, and activation of the mitochondria in your muscles. But when you skip it, your cardiovascular system stays sluggish longer, your brain receives less oxygen in those early hours, and your muscles send weaker signals for bone density maintenance, meaning that over months and years, your bones can weaken, your muscle mass can decline faster, and your overall metabolism can become slower than it would if you had simply started your day with something as easy as stretching, a light walk around the house, or slow squats by the kitchen counter. And here's the key detail many older adults miss: movement in the morning doesn't have to be a workout. In fact, doing intense, high-impact exercise first thing might even cause strain if your joints aren't warm, but it should be intentional, rhythmic movement that wakes up your fascia, lubricates your joints, and tells your body's internal clock to switch into daytime mode, boosting energy, balancing hormones, and priming your digestion. Yet many people over 60 skip this step entirely because they think of exercise as something to do later, and then, later, often never comes because life gets in the way, so days pass without any meaningful movement, slowly compounding the effects of aging on your mobility, posture, and energy levels. And what's worse is that physical inactivity in the morning can also directly affect your mood, because low circulation early in the day means your brain gets less dopamine and serotonin release, making you more prone to low motivation and even depressive feelings, which themselves can lead to less movement, creating a dangerous loop of physical and emotional decline. So the fix here isn't complicated, but it is essential. As soon as you wake up, before you check your phone, before you sit down, dedicate 5 to 10 minutes to gentle mobility work. Roll your shoulders, tilt your neck side to side, swing your arms in circles, stand up and march in place, rotate your ankles, do seated forward bends if your balance isn't great, or simply walk the length of your home several times while taking deep breaths, because these small, intentional movements will send a flood of oxygen-rich blood to your brain, loosen the stiffness in your spine, activate your digestion, and kickstart your metabolism so you burn calories more efficiently the rest of the day. And while this may seem like a small habit, research shows that morning movement is one of the most reliable predictors of better mobility and lower fall risk later in life. Plus, it improves the skin's glow because of the increased circulation, meaning you'll not only feel younger but also look younger over time. And remember, aging isn't just about the number of years you've lived, it's about the condition of your tissues, your circulation, and your nervous system. And by refusing to start your day in stillness, you're sending a strong message to your body to stay youthful, active, and engaged in the world, which is the exact opposite of what happens if you start every morning sedentary. So think of morning movement as your natural anti-aging pill, one that costs nothing, takes minutes, and yet pays you back with years of better energy, sharper thinking, and stronger physical resilience that even the best supplements can't replace. Because at the end of the day, your body was designed to move, and the moment you stop giving it that daily wake-up signal, the aging process accelerates more than you realize. And finally, while the previous habits we've discussed tend to get the spotlight when it comes to premature aging, there's one final trap that's far more subtle, and it's something many seniors don't even realize they're doing every single morning: starting the day without mental stimulation. We often think of aging purely in terms of the skin, the muscles, and the joints, but the truth is, your brain is the control center for everything else. When you start your morning in a state of mental autopilot, doing the exact same repetitive routines without any challenge, you're essentially signaling to your brain that it's okay to coast. And that lack of stimulation leads to gradual declines in processing speed, memory retention, and cognitive sharpness over time. For people over 60, the brain is already facing natural age-related changes: shrinking gray matter, reduced blood flow, slower neural communication. And the more we allow our mornings to run on default mode, the more we accelerate those changes. This is why some researchers have compared morning mental stimulation to an exercise warm-up. It primes the brain for better performance throughout the day, keeping memory sharper, reaction times faster, and mood more stable. Unfortunately, many older adults fall into habits that do the opposite, such as waking up and going straight to the television for the same morning news, or scrolling endlessly on the phone without engaging in anything that requires real mental effort. That kind of passive consumption not only fails to build new neural connections but can also heighten stress and anxiety levels depending on the content, which feeds into the aging cycle through elevated cortisol and inflammation. Instead, you want to approach mornings as your prime window for giving your brain a workout, because it's when you're most likely to retain new information and set the mental tone for the next 12 to 16 hours. Something as simple as reading a chapter of a book you've never explored before, doing a crossword puzzle, learning a few new words in another language, or even writing a short reflection on paper forces the brain to fire in new patterns. And if you combine this with physical movement, like walking while recalling facts or doing light stretches while mentally solving a problem, you activate what's known as dual task training, which has been shown to strengthen brain pathways even more. Over time, this keeps your brain youthful in a very real, biological sense. But here's where the link to visible aging gets interesting. A mentally active brain influences your nervous system, hormone regulation, and even facial expressions. People who challenge their brains daily tend to have more vibrant energy, more responsive facial muscles, and better posture because their brain-body connection is stronger. They also tend to be more socially engaged, which itself is a powerful anti-aging factor. Compare that to the person who starts every morning in a fog, repeating the same dull routine without ever turning the lights on. In their mind, their day is more likely to be marked by sluggishness, poor motivation, and lower resilience to stress, all of which contribute to faster aging both inside and out. The key is to make your first hour of the day a period of intentional brain engagement, not background noise. For example, you could memorize a short poem, visualize and plan your day in vivid detail, or even hold a short conversation with someone about a thought-provoking topic rather than just small talk about the weather. Each of these activities strengthens neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to rewire itself, a capacity that slows with age if neglected but can be maintained well into the 80s and 90s with consistent effort. If you think about aging as the combined wear and tear on both your physical and mental systems, then you can see why skipping this mental ignition step each morning is like leaving your car in the driveway with the engine off and expecting it to be ready for a long trip later. It just doesn't work that way. Your brain and body need that active, deliberate spark to run at their best. So, to recap in the context of the bigger picture, avoid the hidden damage from high sugar or processed breakfasts that spike insulin and inflammation. Stop neglecting hydration and nutrient replenishment that your cells are begging for after a night's rest. Eliminate rushed, stressful starts that flood your system with cortisol. Replace prolonged morning stillness with even brief bursts of movement to get blood flowing. And finally, feed your brain a serving of mental exercise before you feed it hours of passive content. By changing these 5 morning habits, you are effectively slowing down multiple aging pathways at once: metabolic, inflammatory, hormonal, and neurological. And here's the good news: the human body is remarkably forgiving, even after years of less than ideal routines. In just a few weeks of replacing these habits with healthier ones, you can begin to see tangible changes: steadier energy, more vibrant skin tone, sharper thinking, better mood stability, and even improvements in balance and coordination. These aren't just cosmetic benefits. They're signs that your internal systems are aging more slowly. You'll likely find yourself feeling younger not just on the outside, but in the way you move, react, and think. And for those over 60, that's the kind of youthful vitality you can't buy in a bottle. It's something you have to cultivate, one mindful morning at a time. The takeaway is simple but powerful. Your mornings are either speeding up your aging or reversing it, and every choice you make from the moment you open your eyes is a step in one direction or the other. By being deliberate, by nourishing both body and mind before the day runs away from you, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years, which is the most important kind of anti-aging there is.